When we talk about um, comebacks, we can't really talk about that without talking about, something real and personal and raw for ourselves. And so I'll just share a quick story. Um, I don't profess to be a expert at any of the things that we talk about. Certainly, I'm not a a licensed therapist or anything, but I can just talk about what has happened in my life. And so, there was a period of time in my life where I got a job in a faraway place where I didn't know anyone. And I think I shared a story like this before. But at this particular time, I had, some some financial issues. And so I my credit score sucked. Like it
Mm,
was just awful. Excuse me. So, when I moved to this place and I was moving here to be a manager in this organization to lead people and be possibly be a role model, if you will. And so I moved there and I didn't have a vehicle. And so I had to purposely find somewhere to live in this town on a bus line so that I could ride the bus to work. And I don't know if people, my managers, my leaders, or the folks that I led at the time really cared much about that situation. But for me, it was kind of embarrassing and I felt, vulnerable at that point because here I was, this manager who was supposed to be this mentor, this leader, and here I was, I just felt like I didn't have my act together. And so, I'm riding the bus to work and riding the bus home and rain or shine or whatever. And that went on for a while. And so in my mind, I had made a decision that I was going to get a vehicle. But I was also determined that I was going to purchase this vehicle on my own. I was not going to have a co-signer to help me with this, this accomplishment or this comeback that I was working toward. And so fast forward, over time, I met a guy, befriended a guy who very, very funny, very smart guy. I'll never forget this guy. Everybody called him Motz. His name was Jeff Motzer.
hmm,
Very good friend of mine. And so he knew someone who worked at a car dealership who was a sales manager who, he put me in touch with, and we were able to make a deal, and I was able to get a vehicle. Um, and so I was really excited about that. It was a comeback for me. It was a brand new vehicle. Um, I can't remember what the interest rate was on that vehicle, but I can tell you that it was not 0%. Let's just say that. But it was a comeback, and it just catapulted me, you know, uh, to the future. And so, it was a very dark time for me initially because, like I said, it was embarrassing. And in hindsight, it was probably just embarrassing for me. I don't think other people really, cared. I think they were just judging me on my performance, and what I was doing there, and that turned out fine. Yeah. So, I mean, that's one of my personal comeback stories, and no one really knew on the outside. They saw that I didn't have a vehicle, and then they saw that I did have a vehicle, but on the inside is what they didn't see. It was just that, personal, um, that personal stuff that I just had to get over. And eventually I did. So, yeah.